podcast, wide open woke sessions. Mind, body, soul, no second guessing. Spilling truths, no sugarcoat dressing. Wisdom hunting, cash and knowledge blessing. Hands to the streets, wide open woke. Eyes on the prize, ain't no time for jokes, lies and eyes. These days we woke, truth on the mic, destiny and vote. Hands to the streets, wide open.
Hey, this is Wide Open Woke Podcast with information to make you want to say wow. Oh, you gonna say wow with this one. Yes. How y'all doing out there? Hey, y'all, please like and subscribe. You know, I'm looking for more subscribers out there, and I'm gonna have more incentives for people that do subscribe. So, yeah, we're gonna get this thing together. I'm trying to like and share to other people because these videos has got information that make you want to say, "Wow!" Everyone needs to see this information, and so they can see it for themselves, so they know that hey, they saw it, so they know it. So it's up to them if they want to accept it or not. So hey, now, yeah. Further on, is other information we got. We all were born with superpowers. There's a reason why they disconnect us from that umbilical cord that you when you first born that they cut real quickly. There's a reason behind that, and I do encourage a whole lot more home births. Yes, because there's a reason behind that. They don't want. You'll see in this video that I'm going to show you that we've all were born with a connection with the divine. And if it was nurtured in the right way, we would be on a whole different realm right now. But we're going to get into this because I want you to check this out. This video right here, it comes from a guide channel, but it's talking about these kids that they got. How can they do these things with blindfolds? You'll see. Let's get into it.
I understand you've had a unique background in childhood to get us to this point.
I don't know how unique it is. I suspect actually it's fairly common. It's just I think most kids, if they have my experiences, might have shared them with other people and been told, don't be silly, you know, it's just your imagination, it's nonsense. I had the great benefit of not sharing my experiences with anybody else until I was an adult. And that wasn't because I was scared of what people might actually say. It was more I was having such a good time. And those experiences were experiences of communication with beings from other realms, multidimensional experiences. So things like precognitive dreams, telepathy, clairaudience, remote viewing, many synchronicities, and a lot of validation of insight and information that came through those experiences that really helped me keep on that path of exploration and curiosity that's continued to this day.
When I was 3 years old, I was out in the garden, little patio where my parents lived, and I was playing with ladybugs.
I like this story.
I love the ladybugs because they would play with me and they would talk to me and they would just do simple things like they would come closer to me. I found them very comforting. So one day I was out there and my mom came out and said, you need to come in the house and change your clothes. No, I'm playing with my ladybug friends. Why would I do that? I told the ladybugs, I'm not going in. I'm going to stay here. And the ladybug said, you need to go in. And I said, why? And they said, because someone is coming that's important for you to meet. It's like, it's an adult thing. And they said again, you need to go in. Sure enough, my great aunt and uncle showed up. I'd never met them before. And my great aunt was amazing. She was the first person who spoke to me as an adult. Miranda, it is so nice to meet you. And I brought you a present, and tell me what your life is like. I mean, she was right there. It was so healing for me because I was not used to someone talking to me level to level. And that changed my life because it gave me validity, especially in an area of A, the ladybugs told me, and B, here's a person saying, yep, I'm here to see you at 3 years old. That was just important, so important. My parents, I would share these things with them and they'd go, honey, that's really great, but let's just keep it in the house. You know, now that was great because it let me know that the house was safe, but outside of the house, it was not. And that was something that served me for years to come.
Wow.
We're born with it. It's a part of us. It's been trained out of us from yay big. When we learn language, when we go to school, when we are told, oh, it was just a dream, don't worry about it. It's just an imaginary friend, you know. Hey, imaginary friends are very important. I used to set the table for my son's imaginary friend. My husband used to think I was out of my mind. And I said, hey, what difference does it make if there's an extra plate on the table? You know, come on.
The way Western education and Western religion tended to raise most of us was to deny our own internal intuition and our own deep validity and say that they had the wisdom and the answers listened to us. So we learned in school mainly by rote and spitting back facts. In many churches I'm aware of, if you began to question, they might say that's a sin of pride, etc. You need to follow this book. So we were taught often to distrust our internal sense. We can also have trouble when the culture itself has a false persona. So mommy and daddy are tense with each other, but they're not saying anything. They don't express anger in that family. And the kid comes and says, mommy, daddy, what's wrong? And they say nothing. Okay? You learn to distrust because you love your parents, and you learn to distrust your own inner vibe with that first nothing. They think they're doing you a favor to keep you from adult conflicts that you don't need to know about, that there's financial problems or whatever. But what you learn is, I know there's something. That's my internal truth, and I've been told there's nothing. And we start to distrust that. School will sit there and go, oh, the best thing for me now is to get up and run. And they say, sit down, and recess is in an hour. And we distrust our own bodies, sense that we would probably learn better right now if we were active for 5 minutes. We could come back and concentrate. But instead, we're taught we know best. And since we are beings that love to be loved and love to be accepted, and in fact, if we're ostracized from the tribe, we may die. You know, babies have failure to thrive when they're not touched, and that we need to really pay attention to those signals. Are we in line with our tribe or not? And our tribe for many years has been teaching many things that may cause us to distrust our intuition.
The teachers, the educational authorities need to understand that these children are predominantly right-brained. So they need to be nurtured through creativity, through every aspect of creativity. Yes, I understand that they need the basics of maths and English or whatever language they speak, but when they're nurtured and they're taught through creativity, then their right brains become more expanded, and they will function better from that aspect than the left brain, because the right brain is the creative, intuitive female side, where the left brain is the masculine, logical, analytical side. The more the children are forced into the left brain, the quicker the ego begins to come forward. And then they go into all the negative aspects of the ego, and they're nurtured then through fear, doubt, worry, and anxiety.
Wow.
Can you imagine if every child on this planet was nurtured through their right brain, creative and intuitive? There would be practically no illnesses. There would be harmony. There would be equilibrium. And this planet would move back into the dimensions it needs to be in so quickly.
Yep.
So I see you as inspiring children universally. Right,
Check
come and have a
this out.
seat. We take the children through 10 or 12-week sessions to enable them to connect with their outer consciousness and be able to function in a different way where they can see, write, play, read, draw, all sorts of things without the use of their physical eyes. Blindfolds on then.
Wow.
That's it, good girls. We blindfold the children and we get them to see with a whole different aspect of themselves. Okay, so you've got some copper wire and you're going to make a headband. All right, so here are all your beads. So you can reach into the center, hopefully. We normally see them after a school day, unless they're homeschooled. So they would come for an hour after school, and we take them through what we call the opening process to align them with their outer consciousness. And we take them through the process to see. So we encourage them to use the light within them, which effectively is their outer consciousness, but we're bringing it from inside out.
This is getting a bit easier.
That's good. Oops. Let me make one thing perfectly clear. These children are not using their third eye. When you block out all light to the eyes, the pineal gland, which is the third eye, temporarily closes down. So we're not using the third eye in any shape or form. When they align with their outer energy, if we liken it to their spirit standing over their shoulder and then transmits that information via the brain, that's the simplest form of helping people to understand what is happening. That's it.
I've got enough to do it.
That's it, you're doing well. Bring it round to the middle. The brain has to go through some form of recalibration, almost as though the neural pathways have to be realigned because the eyes aren't functioning and yet the child is doing something that the eyes would normally be partaking in. When those neural pathways are formed, that is the beginning of the balance between the left and the right brain. Some children say it's like looking through a tiny pinhole. Some children say it's like looking through a tunnel. Some children can see from both sides. Some children can see behind them. But what we do know is that they have the potential to see out of any cell in their body. Freya, that's really clever.
Wow.
You right there, Bella?
Yeah.
A couple of the basics that we do throughout the session is we never ever say no to the children in a session. Because the minute you say no, they're going to be triggered by their left brain. Yeah, they're nice. Purple one. When we're working with them, we work very fast so that their left brain doesn't have time to be a part of the process. And when we work fast with them, we get really good results. Trust me, doing an hour session with a child as a teacher, you feel like you need to lay down for 3 hours afterwards. Because you have to be on high alert on every level of your consciousness while you're working with them. Because actually, when they're working in that level, they could outwit you easily. They have this pure energy because they're younger. They haven't been conditioned or programmed in certain ways.
See?
So as a teacher, you have to have your wits about you. You have to be sharp. You have to be alert. You have to have eyes in every cell of your body while you're watching them so that they don't wrap you up in tape. Now, I'm going to choose a book and we're going to pass it around the table and we're going to read a page each. So let's choose this one. Okay, Freya, tell us the name of the book.
You. Make you say wow.
Listening with my heart.
Good girl. Okay, so open it to the first part of the story.
Today was the class play.
Yeah.
Waiting for Mama to walk with her to school.
Yeah.
She paced back and forth when she spotted a heart-shaped rock.
Excellent. Okay, Bella, your turn.
Esperanza picked it up and showed it to her mama as soon as she stepped outside. I see you found a little treasure, said Mama.
Yeah, good girl.
Esperanza rubbed its rough surface and felt a twinkle of joy. Maybe it's a sign. For what? Asked Mama. She thought about the class play later that afternoon, wondering what it would finally be like in the spotlight. To put my heart into everything I do, she answered.
Oh,
Good
my
girl.
At that moment, they heard scratching and a soft cry.
Good girl.
Experiencer peeked under the stairs and spotted a kitty shaking and shivering. No, Mama, in sight. She scooped the kitten onto her lap and cuddled her. She's all alone. I think she's hungry. Esperanza reached for her lunch bag, pinched off a piece of chicken and offered it to the kitty, who gobbled it up.
Good girl. Well done. Even when they come for their first session and we ask them to put a blindfold on, they don't ask why. If I had an adult here and I said, right, we're going to put this blindfold on, and they look at it and they see 2 little white pads inside the blindfold, they'd want to know what the white pads are for. So the children don't ask questions. And that's the other thing we never ever do in a session. We never ask them a question. Because the minute you have a question mark at the end of a sentence, they have to answer it with their left brain. So we avoid the left brain at all costs. So instead of saying, what do you see on the page? We would say to them, tell me what you see on the page. So we command them with love rather than ask them a question. Tell us what you see on the page as well this time.
A kitten, a lady with a star.
Good girl.
Can we keep Cleopatra,
Yes.
please?
I've always had a really strong intuition. It's always been there. It's helped me throughout life.
Esperanza, yeah, good girl.
There was something inside me that knew that my girls had to do this. There was just a voice inside me that was like, you know, take the blinkers off, you know, not all is what it seems. Go for it, go for it. What harm could it do? And that was stronger than the sceptical part of me.
And on the other side?
A boy
Yeah.
with
Wow.
a soccer ball.
Yep.
Told
Some
you.
trees.
Good girl.
Bushes.
Yes.
Bench.
Yep.
Bin.
Wonderful. Let's have a read then.
At school, Esperanza was more focused on the play.
It's not about the seeing with the blindfold. That's kind of like the icing on the cake.
Awaited her cue.
Good girl. Well done. Pass it on to Evie.
My twins did it first. They're now 15, and I have another daughter who's here today doing ICU, Evie. She's 10, and she started about 2 years ago.
Is that a bush or a tree?
Yes, it looks like it.
Oh, a tree?
Yes.
Flowers?
Yes.
A girl?
That's right.
A star?
Tell me the colour of the rainbow. Point to the colours and tell me.
Red?
Yes.
Orange?
Yes.
Yellow?
Good.
Green?
Yes.
Blue? And purple.
Good girl. Well done. Let's read then.
Esperanza walked on stage, tripped as she was about to say her first line, and splattered across the stage.
Oh my goodness.
It can boost their self-confidence. It's very, very healing, their self-worth. I mean, they grew so much when they was doing this, and they're still growing now.
All eyes were glued to her. She wished she could disappear.
Good girl. Well done. Excellent. Good girls.
My daughter was struck down with an illness. They told us that she had ME, which I think is also, they call it chronic fatigue syndrome as well. So it has the 2 different names. They said that they had no cure for her and that there was nothing they could do for her. So obviously as a mother, like this motherly instinct was like, well, hang on a minute, she's 10 years old. Like, you can't say this to me. This can't be true. We went for about 1.5 to 2 years with the Jess. She just got worse and worse. Her illness progressed, and in the end, she was pretty much wheelchair bound. She couldn't get out of bed. We used to carry her backwards and forwards to the bathroom, and, you know, just a mother's worst nightmare, or any parent's worst nightmare for their child. And I used to run a group at home, and this particular day a new lady came into this group, and her name was Karen, and she became good friends with Jess because Jess couldn't go to school. She didn't go to school for 2 years. Karen was the one who taught ICU, and she said one day out of the blue, I teach this program called ICU. I don't know if you've heard of it, which I hadn't. She said, I think that this might help Jess. And Jess instantly said, yes, please, I'd love to try it. And that was where the ICU started to be born, like in our home. At that time, if ever we went out, she was in a wheelchair. And within probably 4 months, I can remember throwing the wheelchair in the rubbish. I was like, oh my, I never thought I'd see this day. So I would stay from the start of the ICU, where it felt impossible. It was just like I had to give up all work, and everything I was doing, my life became around just supporting Jess through this illness, to 6 months later, our little one just being full of life and back to normality, whatever that might be. It was life-changing for Jess, life-changing for our family, life-changing for me, for all of the people around us, because the ICU saved her, basically.
Okay, so girls, I'm going to hold a card up.
Wow.
And I'll hold it up for you, and what you're going to do is draw what you see on the card.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. If we look at...
Hey, I'd like to take this moment right real quick. Please like and subscribe. Please like and subscribe. I'm trying to get more subscribers here, and we love to have your support. And, right now, hey, this is a time where you want to see this information. You want to get the latest information out that you need to know. It's always good to know. All right, back to our scheduled programming.
An abused child, and we look at an angry child because they're out of alignment, the reactions are very much the same.
Now they drawn with
The
blind.
child that has been forced to contract its energy through possibly abuse, or the child that doesn't feel like it belongs, even though it's in a family, a very loving family. The fundamental things that are the same is the contracted energy field and the frustration that builds up inside of them. If they can't express the energy that builds up inside of them, then it's like a little time bomb waiting to go off. I work with autistic children, and oh boy, they are so high vibrational. If you have a lamp that can only take a 30-watt light bulb, if you try to put a 120-watt light bulb into that lamp, it's going to blow. Well, we're looking at these children being a 120-watt light bulb being fitted into a body that can only take a 30. So they're hyper, they express themselves in certain ways, and then they're given medication to numb them down. So all of that energy that they are is building up inside of them, and then they just need to explode. When they become that frustrated, that angry, the energy field gets closer and closer to them, so they can barely breathe. Nice picture, Evie.
I should have probably done the yellow first before
That's
I done the
okay.
black.
You're doing really well. Once the children start school and go through the education system, then we're looking at a numbing of their vibration. The education system just doesn't suit them anymore. It's antiquated in every aspect. Good girl. That's it. Gonna colour it in, Bella.
When Jess was ill, she didn't go to school at all. And then when she recovered, we put her back into the school. And I think she was in there for about a month. And she just did not fit into this almost, she would come home and say, my God, Mum, the school, it's like a prison. Because she's found this freedom inside, she's found the truth of who she is. And she knows that that isn't going to be found there. The school comes from many years of conditioning, and we're teaching children to fit into a society that isn't of its natural state. We're teaching children to be something that they're not supposed to be.
Children are open. Children live in a miraculous world. But this is a miraculous world, and we've got to learn in it, just like artists do, continue to live. I think a great artist remains a child in that sense. We don't lose that sense of wonders. Just to quote Einstein, who said so many wonderful things, he said there are two ways to live your life. Either as if everything is a miracle or as if nothing is.
Fantastic.
What makes us dismiss our own superpowers is the feeling that they're not real unless they are validated in the eyes of somebody who represents the power structure, who will say, what is the value of that? Prove that to me. Explain it to me. We don't realize that by entering into that dialogue, we've already given the power away. We have no way to win that conversation. The correct response to that conversation is, the tone in which you're approaching me makes it impossible for me to develop. So unless you can approach me more sensitively, then I can't engage with you.
Next card.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's just a sign.
I think it was their 5th session, and Amber, the first twin, she started to see, which was amazing, absolutely amazing. I remember driving her home, and she was showing me all the numbers on the doors from the car window, and it was just such an excitement. And in her excitement, Abby, she began to see as well, which was absolutely amazing. And you can imagine identical twins together with the blindfolds on. It was fantastic.
It takes forever just to colour in these pointy bits.
They were seeing for a couple of days, and then a skeptic who they were very close to, she started questioning. She shut down one twin. The first twin, she started to question it, and it kind of shut down her energy. And when her energy shut down, the other twin's energy shut down. And then they both didn't see after that.
We had a little girl that was reading, but her father was a complete skeptic. So this particular day, he brought his daughter for her session, and this was with another one of the ICU teachers, and she was sitting at the table reading. Wow. And her father was sitting in the chair behind her, quite a way back. And I think his curiosity must have got the better of him, because he started to walk towards her to see what she was actually doing. And the little girl said to the teacher, "My vision's gone." So the teacher beckoned the father to move away, and as he moved away, her reading vision came back. So we know that the energy of a negative person can shut the children down, and we also know that it has the potential for them never to be aligned with that level of consciousness again.
You kind of think, oh, what a disappointment, but it really wasn't. It really wasn't a disappointment. For instance, Amber, she's the top in her school for history. She's got a real talent for history. And Abby, she loves art. She gets lost in her art. Amber, she says, you know, oh, we're going to see this person today, and this person, like, we see this person without her even knowing, or this song's going to come on the radio. It comes on the radio, you know, it's amazing.
We are aligning them with their true aspect. We're aligning them with their consciousness.
That's wow.
And they're keeping that. They're moving through education with so much grace and ease. They're moving through life. They're expanding even more. And what we're finding is that they're not just going through changes in their own lives, they're facilitating changes in their families' lives, in the community.
The society and the way things are is that they're teaching the children that for your happiness and for your peace and your joy, you have to go outside. Like you have to look out there, because it's out there. It's out there in the bags. It's out there in the Louis Vuitton fake bag. It's out there in the lipsticks and the makeup and the hair and what you look like and this, that and the other. And for Jess, the profoundness of Jess is she found it in here. And so none of that makes any sense. She can still enjoy these things on the outside, but when it comes from a different place, when it isn't coming from fear or from a need to fit in or from a low self-esteem.
I need the black.
Right.
Find the black. Yeah. It seems we're taking them back to their energy when they were born, but they're now 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's amazing to watch. It's amazing to take them through such a program that they keep their true essence.
Wait, how?
So I'm shadowing Freya's picture because although she's got a blindfold on, the sun's shining on the page and it's too bright. So her vision is super sharp at the moment with the brightness. It just amazes me.
With Evie, she's into making these like cartoon videos. there's been a character in a dark room, and she's turned the room into light. I mean, this is amazing. Their consciousness opens up so much.
All our children need is to be nurtured in such a way that they can stay in an expanded field through love.
Freya. Evie.
I feel very strongly that the parents need to understand who their child is energetically, rather than just as a boy or a girl, a son or a daughter.
Evie.
Because they're not just a human being, they're a spirit, they're a soul, they're a light. Put yourself in your daughter's shoes. When you tell her that she's doing something wrong, how often do you tell her why? Do you educate her in those ways? There's a very fine line as a parent as to how much you protect your child and how much you set them free. Everybody is individual, every personality is individual. It's an art in itself as a parent to know how much you give and how much you protect.
Bella?
Right.
Evie.
Facts.
Evie.
I asked Evie when she was doing this, wow, Evie, this is amazing. This is fantastic. I mean, how do you feel doing this? She said, Mummy, any child can do this. Any child can do it. It's like riding a bike to them.
Evie.
Just think, if we would have had that nurturing.
The truth is that we are all consciousness. It's not just half of us were that and half of us were not. Like every single one is. So if it's cultivated in the right way, we have a planet of awakened beings.
This is something they didn't want to do.
Honor them, understand them, listen to them, and be at one with them.
That is crazy. That is crazy. You know, now, man, I'm telling you something. That was something. If we were all given a chance to be nurtured in that way, instead of going straight off to school and being, this is this color and this is this color, and because the Rockefeller Institute. Yeah, y'all remember Rockefeller? He said, no, I do not want a nation of thinkers. I want a nation of workers. So what did he do? He indoctrinated us right from the ages of preschool of what we were going to learn, what we're going to see. So what we learn and see is what we're going to think. This is how we're going to have them perceive this. This is how we want you to think. When you see it, see, from then on, we couldn't do this stuff that these girls is doing. See, because they had us going outside ourselves instead of going within, and these girls going with their conscious within and actually seeing this without their eyes, without no use of their eyes. So yeah, this is true facts, because if they had, say, started something like this back, made it mainstream back in the early 60s or so, back when I was first born, we would have a whole nation of awakened people right now. We'd be on the upswing right now. We'd be so much ahead right now because of all because of the harmony and everything that comes along with that. But this is Wide Open Woke Podcast with Audi Rob. I'm not going to hold you much longer, but yes, I'm coming to you with more information. That's courtesy of the Gaia channel. Please check out the Gaia channel. Get the Gaia channel. You people, please get the Gaia channel. Learn about what has not been taught to us in school. There's so much knowledge on that Gaia channel. You would be amazed. Hours and hours and hours. So check it out. Yep, check it out. And this is Audi Rob. Intro. Check me out of here.
Blast wide open woke sessions. Mind, body, soul. soul, no second guessing. Spilling truths, no sugarcoat dressing. Wisdom hunting, cash and knowledge blessing. Hands to the streets, wide open the road. Eyes on the prize, ain't no time for jokes, lies and highs. These chains we roll, truth on the mic, destiny and vote. Hands to the streets.